Welcome back. Have you ever felt so trapped by the people who love you that it's literally killing you from the inside? Today's story comes from someone whose body started shutting down at just 24 because of family stress and the desperate decision they made that tore their world apart. So buckle up. We're diving into a heart-wrenching tale. The test results trembled in my hands as I sat in the sterile waiting room, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry wasps. 24 years old, and my doctor had just delivered news that made my stomach drop to my feet. My stress system had completely collapsed. The chronic tension that had become my daily companion was literally eating me alive from the inside out. If you continue living like this, Dr. Martinez had said, her voice gentle but firm, you'll start experiencing symptoms similar to menopause by 25. The words echoed in my mind as I walked to my car, keys shaking in my trembling fingers. I was supposed to be in my prime, not watching my body surrender to the weight of expectations I never asked to carry. Home was a battlefield disguised as love. Every evening I'd turn my key in the lock and brace myself for whatever crisis awaited. The cramped space held more tension than furniture, my father sleeping on the floor because there simply weren't enough beds, my sister crying over homework at the kitchen table while raised voices carried from the living room. Privacy was a foreign concept. Every phone call scrutinized, every friendship questioned. The rules were suffocating. No games, no late-night conversations with friends, everything electronic shut down by 9 or 10 p.m. sharp. After a stalking incident and the discovery of my friendship with someone from America, the surveillance had only intensified. I felt like a prisoner in my own life, watched and controlled despite having a full-time job in IT and nearly finishing my college degree. But the real anchor around my neck was my mother's condition. When stress overwhelmed her, seizures would strike in the dark hours of night. While my father would panic and my sister would dissolve into tears, I was the only one who could remain calm enough to help. The weight of being the family's emotional lifeline pressed down on my shoulders like a lead blanket, growing heavier with each passing day. It's not fatal, the doctors had assured us about her condition. It's lifelong but manageable. Yet the constant vigilance, the walking on eggshells, the daily fights that erupted like clockwork, none of it felt manageable to me. I was drowning in a sea of other people's needs while my own health crumbled like old plaster. That's when I made the decision that would change everything. The apartment was perfect in its simplicity, a quiet sanctuary just 6 minutes from the chaos I called home. Close enough to help if needed, far enough to finally breathe. As I signed the lease, my hands steady for the first time in months, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Hope. I told myself I was being practical, even generous. My departure would free up space at home. My father could finally sleep in a real bed. My sister could use my room for studying. They wouldn't need to worry about my mounting medical bills. Everyone would benefit from this decision, I reasoned, as I handed over the security deposit. But when I came home that evening and announced what I'd done, the explosion was immediate and devastating. "You betrayed us," my mother sobbed, her face crumpling like tissue paper. "How could you do this without asking? Without our permission?" "Permission?" I stammered, the word feeling foreign on my tongue. "I'm 24. I have a job. I'm graduating college." "You're ungrateful." My father's voice cut through my explanation like a blade. "After everything we've done for you, everything we've sacrificed, this is how you repay us." The tears came fast and furious from all directions. My sister stared at me like I'd announced I was joining a cult. The accusations flew like shrapnel. Traitor, selfish, cruel. Each word found its mark, embedding itself deep in my chest, where guilt had already taken root. "Break the lease," my mother demanded through her tears. "Break it, or we'll never speak to you again. We'll turn the entire family against you. Your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents. They don't have much time left, you know. Is this really how you want to spend their final years?" The threat hung in the air like smoke, making it hard to breathe. I thought of my elderly grandparents, their weathered hands and kind eyes. The idea of them spending their remaining time disappointed in me felt like a physical blow. That night, lying in my childhood bed for what I'd hoped would be one of the last times, I stared at the ceiling and wondered if I'd made a terrible mistake. Was I really so selfish for wanting to save my own health? Was 6 minutes of distance really such a betrayal? Sleep eluded me as I replayed every word, every tear, every accusation. The apartment keys felt heavy in my pocket, weighted with the promise of freedom I wasn't sure I deserved to claim. But then I remembered Dr. Martinez's concerned face, the test results that painted a picture of a body in rebellion against chronic stress. I thought about my dreams of studying abroad, of building a life beyond these suffocating walls, of breathing without permission. The choice stretched before me like a chasm: surrender to the familiar prison of family expectations, or step into the unknown territory of my own life. My phone buzzed with messages from relatives who had already heard the news, each notification another link in the chain I was trying to break. As dawn crept through my bedroom window, painting everything in soft gray light, I made my decision. The apartment waited for me like a lifeline thrown to a drowning person. Whether I was brave enough to grab it remained to be seen, but one thing was certain. I couldn't keep living in a house where love felt indistinguishable from control, where caring meant never being allowed to care for myself. The battle for my independence had only just begun, and I could already feel the ground shifting beneath my feet. But for the first time in years, the trembling in my hands wasn't entirely from fear. Some of it, just maybe, was from the possibility of finally being free. That is the whole story of today. Honestly, this person was fighting for their literal health and sanity. Sometimes you have to save yourself before you can save anyone else. I'd rate this a solid 1 out of 10 Slytherins. Pure Hufflepuff energy trying to keep everyone happy while slowly dying inside. Definitely not the villain here. What's your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was this self-preservation or family betrayal? That's all for today's story. Hope you enjoyed the ride. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to help me reach my first 1,000 subscribers. It really means a lot. And hey, if you're still craving more drama, mystery, or chaos, check out the next story right here on the screen. See you in the next one.